Dum, 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 dum,
Space between, space between, space between. Space between.
All right, so it's just me and Amy today, so I'm going to have to start this with some real enunciation.
And the banner, yeah.
We'll get to that. What
Was that good enough?
it was all right, you know? It was better.
It similar?
It was better, actually. What is going on, you guys? It's the Space Between podcast, where we talk about the space between life and art,
Cool clip.
passion and business. Oh, some ASMR action. What's happening now
Good
and
evening.
what's happening next? I'm Pat Shand.
They're like, what is this? I'm Amy Shand.
Yeah, this podcast is going up the rails, and not just right now. I mean,
It's
from
'cause
now on.
Shannon and Ryan took a long-term trip to Venus together,
I was wondering where you were going with
and
that.
that's why they're not here again.
So just them together
Well, I guess
on Venus?
they've been gone. So
Okay.
I guess it seems like a longer time than it's been because we've been gone too, like around. We've been busy.
Right, but in the next time that you hear us, we plan to have Shannon and Ryan back, or at least one of them. So we'll get to that. But first, let's just dive right into it. Amy, you were singing there a rendition of Fergie's Star Spangled Banner remix.
Yes, I see that's on the list to talk about.
Yes. So, all right. I don't like the idea of hating on someone. I think that Fergie is a great individual. The music video for the London Bridge in the past made me very happy as a young gentleman. Every time it went on MTV, I was just waiting for it, and I'd be so... I was sexually repressed, right? So when London Bridge dropped, I was just in love with Fergie.
So points for that.
So points for that. You know, Fergie, you know, I
wasn't gonna post anything or say anything about it online, but then today I found the funniest post about it.
was it the remix?
No, it's just a sheet of sheet music, and it's like, and it's
Oh,
the
shit.
Fergie rendition of the National Anthem, and then like where it usually says like "O tempo" or whatever, it says like whatever key you want. Ignore the bass
Oh,
line
shit.
and stuff like that, and it has like all the notes she actually sang.
That's amazing.
It's so funny.
And it's crazy. Like, all right, so I stutter, right? Not very bad now, but it was horrible when I was a kid. Fergie was like sing stuttering. She said that banner,
I think that was on purpose.
I know,
That's like
but why? Like she said, she had a statement today.
she responded.
But it's more than just a response. Like she didn't tweet. She put out a statement.
Wow, officially.
Official statement. Said that she's an artist that takes artistic risks.
If I was her, I'd be like, listen, I woke up with strep
I woke up with strep.
or something like diarrhea. I don't know. I talk about going to the bathroom a lot on this podcast.
Imagine
I'm
that was
just
her
trying to think
response.
of like reasons
Yo, imagine that was her response.
where
I
someone
woke up with
would be
diarrhea
like,
today.
would be like, oh, okay, that's why. All right.
So you're saying that she was
But to
squeezing
go
her
up-
cheeks while...
Or something.
While
But
she
to
was
go
singing?
up and be like, listen, I stand by that.
No. She doesn't stand by it. She doesn't stand by it. She said that clearly it didn't work. She said that it was
Didn't she
artistic.
practice?
Yeah. Had to be alone.
Or like, yeah, I don't know.
Or she got some yes men hanging around her.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, all right.
feel bad for her, though,
Say you're on Fergie's payroll, right? If she sings that around you, and no one else is saying anything, are you the one who's like, "Hey, listen, that right there was trash, B"?
Yes.
Man,
like,
oh man.
Bish.
Listen. That it might not have been so good.
I'll be like, listen, if I was her friend and in her studio and she's saying that, like practicing, and I heard it, I'm sure it was much better during practice because like
Couldn't
it's
have been.
it's
Literally couldn't
super
have been.
nerve wracking to be in front of people. So like I'm sure maybe it sounded like a little better, still really like a weird version of it, but
Right.
not as like nails on a chalkboard as far as like the sound of her voice. But if
Right.
I was like listening to that, I'd be like, look, I feel like it's too much of like a classic song and there's too wide of an audience to change it that much. Like you want to appease, you know, like sing it beautifully and put a little riff at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean
Like,
that performance
Everyone
though.
has done it, I feel like. Like,
I mean,
feel
people
like,
have historically been roasted for bad anthems, you know. But I think that this might be the worst one.
yeah, it's pretty bad.
I mean, even if her voice was perfect throughout the whole thing, right? And then at the end, she hit the banner, yeah, whoa. Would that work? Like, if it was perfect before that,
I don't know.
I think that Chance the Rapper in the audience would still be like, what?
Yeah.
All right, so what I wanted to bring up, though, is we don't ever talk about this. Amy, you are a singer, performer, looper. Mm-hmm. In fact, I'm not sure if everyone listening knows, we probably should have mentioned this. Amy did our theme song.
Yeah, I think it's written on the on iTunes.
Yeah, it's written, but who reads that shit, you know? Like,
Oh.
we should say during every
It's
podcast.
clearly my voice.
It's true, but you know, someone who is listening new might not know that.
Yeah,
So
just made up that little ditty for the podcast.
every podcast, maybe at the end, we'll say theme song written and performed by Amy Shand.
Or just this once is fine.
Man, we'll see. We'll see. She learned to take some credit, all right? Come on.
Okay.
All right, but what I wanted to mention was Amy often does open mic nights. And with the frequency of open mic nights that she does, there are some performances that Amy is left unsatisfied by.
Yes.
So, how do you feel when that happens? Because, all right, watch. Fergie right now she's dealing with an entire Twitter's worth of response. Mm-hmm. You have no response except perhaps, do you hear like a difference in clapping? Or do you think that you're making that up in your head? Because often what will happen is if you don't perform a certain song and you miss a line or a verse, much of the audience won't recognize that, and I think that you know that.
Yeah.
But Fergie's on such a big platform. What I'm wondering is, what's the difference between what you feel and what someone who has such a wide audience feel? Does Fergie maybe feel less embarrassed because she's fucking rich and famous, and she can just put out an album that doesn't have that weird stuttering sing that she does, or is it worse for someone on that level?
I don't know. I think it's a mixture of like what kind of a person you are, because I would like to think that Fergie can just brush this off because she has been and is so successful. And I mean, she's not known for like a super powerful vocalist.
100% fair.
Rihanna, Adele, you know, Beyonce, other people like that, they're known for having those big powerhouse vocals, and Fergie is known more for like her performance skills, her group efforts in like the Black Eyed Peas and stuff. So,
Right.
All right, so coming back around to it, I feel like it's better, or not better, but for me, like when I do something that I know is incorrect or like not the same as the way I practice it, I am mortified. But there's never been a situation where it's like silent or awkward at the end of a performance. And even sometimes like people will be like, hey, good job. And I literally just won't believe them. I think they're being nice because like,
And your
just
answer
like,
to them is different, right?
yeah, I'm literally like, thanks, but I should have blah, blah, blah. Or, haha, yeah, thanks. Or, you know, like, so it's, but I'm also very self-conscious as is. Right. And I have anxiety as is. So, like, to go up on stage and do something like that is a little bit, like, strangely out of my element because, like, as antisocial as I am, I love to be on stage. So, to me, that's, like, the way I connect with other people. So, when I do it incorrectly, I'm so pissed off at myself.
I hear you.
So, it's like, even if they feel like I communicated to them in a certain way, just because I know that it wasn't the way I wanted, I'm very upset. So I feel like Fergie, to her, she was paid to do that. And, like, it was a gig. and she did it, and now she's gonna go on and do other stuff. But for me, like, the open mic is more personal, so I would say it's more mortifying for me, even though I don't get response, and like people don't talk about it on their podcasts and people don't tweet about it. It's just like, you've seen me, like, I literally am crying on the way home sometimes just because I feel like I made a mistake, but nobody else is thinking twice about it.
Right.
They're already moved on to the next performer, but it's ruined my night.
And what you mentioned to me in our pre-production is that you, in fact,
I have history with the Star Spangled Banner myself.
You do.
Frickin' when I was a kid, my brothers and I played Little League Baseball.
What age are we talking?
I was like probably 11. It was ages 11 to 15 because it was 3 years in a row or something that my dad volunteered me and people requested me, of like the families of the Little League, to sing the national anthem at the outdoor ceremony for opening day.
Oh boy.
So like the first time it came around, I was super stoked and I forgot the words. Like there's like 2 lines that I always switch, and then once I sing the wrong one, I'm just fucked for the rest of the time. And then like I'm thinking about it and my like voice cracks and I like don't get enough air or something. And so then I was like, oh man. So then the next year they're like, oh, no problem, you know, you made a mistake. But I'm thinking in my head, why are you asking me again? Like, I fucked up. And so just from the jump, I was stressed out. I was like, I don't deserve this. So I spent so much time like trying to remember the words, even though I already knew the words, that I was so nervous about it that the next 2 years in a row, I made like literally the same mistake.
Oh, shit.
To where like the parents were like expecting it.
They must have thought you were trolling them.
I hope so at this point.
Oh my God. But what I do want to say is that I think that you're beyond brave for doing that. I could never do that. I think that you're a fucking superhero.
Oh,
seriously.
thanks.
Yeah.
It's so, like, fun, but it's so weird. It's like a double-edged sword for me. Like, I can either go up there, have a blast, or I can go up there and be like, I'm never leaving the house again.
Yeah. I don't even know how you walk through the audience to get onto a stage.
You've done it before.
For
at
what?
Open mic. When you did the reading.
No. Well, I was with you guys. What Amy's referencing is Amy, our friend Cassie, and I once did a reading of Destiny New York. And I read the panel description, and Cassie played Logan, and Amy played Lilith. Mm-hmm. And if it was just me, I would have a fucking meltdown. Like, a 100% meltdown. If it was me, Amy, and Cassie, as it was like a 25% meltdown. Like, I was not comfortable, and I didn't want to be up there. Mm-hmm. But when it was done, I could just sigh and divorce myself from that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do it consistently, and it is it's amazing to me.
Thank you.
And speaking of going places, right? This weekend I went to a convention.
Wait, what were we literally just talking about?
Talking about walking up stage.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So I went to a convention. It was in Pennsylvania.
So we're walking up a stage, and then Pat took a road trip.
I did. To Central PA Comic Con, okay?
Oh, and quick note.
Yes.
Before, we had some maintenance done on the car.
Oh, yes.
Moving on.
So we had maintenance done on the car. This will come back later in the podcast. So the engine of the car was just fixed, had some work on it, and I had them look over the car to make sure I'd be able to get back and forth to Pennsylvania safely. Okay, so got there, and it was a good show. I always enjoy the show. I've done it before.
Clownsters did well this time.
Yes, Clownsters so well. It was our bestseller. Let me just say, too, the year before at the same convention, do you remember who I met?
No.
Kel. From Keenan and Kel.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of my favorite moments. I met Kel from Keenan and Kel.
You've met a lot of cool people at conventions, though.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, Kel kind of stands out. I got to tell Kel how funny it was when he dropped the screw in the tuna.
Oh, yeah.
When he dropped the screw in the fucking tuna and admitted it in court.
Obviously knew exactly what you were referring to.
It has to be... All right, so the most famous Kel line, you go up to him and you tell him how much you fucking love orange soda.
That's what I would have said.
Yeah. The screw in the tuna has to be number 2. Screw in the tuna is fucking iconic, okay?
But it's cool because you're like a good enough fan that you said that one and not the orange soda one. So he's like, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. It was great.
Now you guys are best friends.
Exactly.
Just kidding.
This year, yeah, there was no Charlemagne situation with Kel. But this year, Kel was not there, and it was more of a focus, less on Scrooge and the Tuna and more on selling the books. And our bestseller was Clonsters. What I wanted to bring up was it snowed there, and Amy's giving me these crazy eyes right now.
Because I was just wondering if Terry Moore is going to be at Kinda Con.
I don't know. I haven't seen him at any smaller conventions like Central PA, Kinda Con, are creator focused, are independently run. I've only seen Terry Moore at big ones like San Diego Comic Con or Baltimore.
All right, I have to keep that in mind because I kind of feel like I jacked Danny.
Yeah, we have our friend Danny's copy of Strangers in Paradise that has a blank hardcover. Amy just keeps giving me these looks. And the fucking devil's standing next to me right now. All right, so listen.
The devil's in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah. You're interrupting the story, okay? Can I tell my goddamn survival story?
Yes.
Okay, so listen. It began to snow. It began to come down in torrentially, okay? The sky was as white as a fucking Trump rally. It was just coming all the way down, and I've driven in snow before, right? So I'm like, I could do this shit, you know? It couldn't have snowed much in the last hour of the convention. I got out, and I began to drive, and the hotel I was staying at was a 30-second drive from the convention center, which was just a different hotel, to my hotel. So I made the choice that the place I wanted to go eat food, Sheetz, Pennsylvania's Sheetz with a fucking Z, right?
That's what I was going to ask.
Sheetz with a Z was 8 minutes away. And I thought, 8 minutes in the snow isn't that bad.
You could do it.
So I hit the road, right? And I was driving slowly. And then I turned off the hotel road onto the road to Sheetz. And it was the tiniest, most fucking uphill, covered in snow ass, unlit ass motherfucking road you've ever seen in your life. I was 2 minutes into the drive. Well, two minutes on the GPS. It was like fucking 10 minutes, right? And I was like, all right, I want to turn back, but it is impossible to turn back on this road. And there were no cars around me. It was pitch black in the snow. So it was pitch gray. And I was just fucking assed out. And I was driving, and I was literally, I never do this. I was praying to whatever God you listeners believe. And I was like, please just get me to Sheetz. And I felt so fucking nasty that I was risking my life to go to Sheetz. If I had known how bad it was, wouldn't have risked it. But I chose to do it, and I got there, and I fucking parked in front of Sheetz, looked at that nasty ass establishment, and I was just sitting there like, all of this for this. I felt like, oh man, I gotta look it up. What are the words of that poem? All right. Ozymandias, the poem that is modernly associated with Breaking Bad.
Oh, yeah, that's why I recognize the name.
It's the poem that they used for marketing the final season when Walter White finally reaps what he sowed, okay? And the last bit goes, and on the pedestal these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing besides remains round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare. The lone and level sands stretch far away. And I was thinking that shit while I was looking at Sheetz.
What a trek.
What a trek for fucking nothing. Do you know what I got? I got a burger called the Gringo. It's literally a cheeseburger with some tasteless ass cheese, bitch ass chili, and some goddamn motherfucking Doritos on that bitch.
Ew.
That's what I got for that
Gringo.
drive. For that drive, that's what I got. All right.
That's funny.
Oh my God. Risked my life for a burger with Doritos on it. So, got back in the car, risked it all again, you know, and I made it back safe, but with a change of heart in my mind. I thought never again. If it's snowing, I'm going to go hungry because for a convention, I normally don't eat during a con because the food prices at venues are so expensive. I just fucking, had the whole day, no food. And that's why I went to Sheets. I was like, all right, it's snowing, but I have to eat, right? No. Next time, I am not going to eat in that situation. I'm going to fucking starve.
Go down to the hotel, candy machine or whatever.
But yeah, I really could have. I could have, instead of driving, quote unquote, 8 minutes, in the snow, I could have gotten some M&Ms.
Yeah.
And just called it a night. All right, but I survived and I'm back and I am happy to report that the car that I was in got back here safely. Okay? Well, for now, let's hit... Do you want to do chronologically?
Sure.
All right, so... Well, yeah, today I guess we're just telling the story of our recent life, right?
Yeah.
We have no topic today, really. Like, last week was low-key Valentine's Day. This week is high-key The Adventures of Pat and Amy, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, yesterday, I'm back, and it's time for our youngest cat, Chi-Chi. Do you know Chi-Chi from last episode and previous episodes?
And tomorrow's episode of the Purrcast.
Yes, and we'll get to that. But if you don't know who Chi-Chi is right now, fuck you. No, I know that we can't expect all of our listeners to know our cats by heart until at least the end of next episode. But Chi-Chi is our youngest cat. She's a calico. You can follow her at, say it,
Chihuahua the Calico
on Instagram. She has a beautiful Instagram, and Amy curates it. It's Chi-Chi's gram. She runs that shit, but Amy helps her out.
It's in her point of view.
So,
it's pretty fucking clever.
it's so cute. You want to tell the story of her spaying?
Sure. We took her to the vet to get spayed in the morning. Did you take her, or we took her to... No, you took her alone.
No, you came. Yeah, Amy came with me.
I
take
did.
her.
Oh, I
You
did. I'm getting confused because we've been to the vet like 3,000 times in the last
Hoyt.
4 months.
Yeah. But it's worth mentioning, too, this wasn't just for like a routine spay.
She had 3 things done.
Yes, Chi-Chi had a hernia, which was literally her guts popping out of her intestinal wall that you could push back in with your finger. The vet was doing it. And we needed that sewn up, to which the vet had casually said he can just take care of that while he's in there.
Yeah, and it's common for female kittens to have a hernia, I guess. Although I'd never heard of it because I never had a girl cat before. But when she was little, she had I could see it was like a button on her tummy. So basically, yeah, she has a little cut in the tendons of her stomach that she was born with that they sewed up, and then they spayed her. And then we also got her microchipped, even though our cats never go outside. It's just we figured we would do that because it's a good idea.
Just in case, say fucking someone breaks in, pops the door open, and goes, fuck these cats.
Or the maintenance is sometimes not too careful as we want them to be. So you never know. We have a door to the back and we have a door to the front. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, so the risk is worth taking the procedure.
So basically, we took her to the vet. And we had to drop her off there for the day. And so I went to work. But before work...
I'm going to leave the vet part at this, too. It was more money than I had been told or planned to. The vet partially took care of that, but it was quite an alarming day as far as that goes.
Right. So that's what happened before work.
Right.
Is we dealt with the pricing of it. But we weren't... Pat couldn't pick her up until 3 p.m. and we dropped her off at 8:30 in the morning.
Hold on, let's just make it clear though.
Can you let me tell the story? I'm just kidding. That's what you said.
Well, right, because I was interrupting your story. Let's just make it clear. I could pick her up before then. You're making it seem as if I chose to not pick her up.
Oh no, they told him.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I wanted to add. That's all I wanted to add.
All right, cool. So he wasn't, because of the surgery and her being sleepy and drugs and whatnot, she had to stay in the vet till the afternoon time, and I went to work until 5. He wasn't allowed to pick her up until 3, they said.
I was chomping at the bit to get her bitch ass.
Oh, yeah, you were working at home, just waiting. I remember you texted me. I was at work, you texted me at 2:40.
Yes.
On the way to get her. I was like, good.
Yeah, I just need to make it clear that I'm not at home I have to finish this script. I can't get her, you know?
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize what I sounded like. No. We had a time that we had to go pick her up.
An asshole.
Pretty much. So anyway, Pat picked her up at 3 o'clock and she was basically wrecked. Like, also what they did was they had to like lube her eyes because I guess when she's asleep, like she doesn't create the moisture of her eyelids usually normally do. So she was asleep for a long time because of her surgery. She was gonna have some stoner dry eyes going on. So they had to lube her up. So she had like these wet eyes. And she has a big scar on her belly. Yeah. Bigger than any scar I've seen because, one, we have boy cats, so it's just like a little snip, snip, usually. Right. 2, she got the hernia fixed, so it's like a double scar. Right. It's like the length of her chest all the way almost down to where her little fascine is.
It's like 3 inches, I think, right?
Probably 3.5, 4, yeah.
And I just want to add, too, just throw it in there. Amy had some mama bear action going on yesterday because when I told Amy that they lubed her eyes, Amy was like, "I've never heard of that," and I'm like, "Why would you have heard of that?" Like, I've never heard of that shit either.
Real upset. So, yeah, since then we had to set her up in the bathroom. Because with the litter that we usually use, it can get stuck in her like cuts or her like wounds and her stitches. So we had to get like this recycled paper litter and get her a new litter box.
Yesterday's news, just a little plug there.
Yesterday's news, yeah. And then shout out. And we have to set her up in the bathroom in her little apartment like we used to do when we first got her, but this time she's much bigger, so she fucking hates it. Right. But she has to be there because it's the cleanest. And she has a cone. First, she had a cone that was like, it was like the thickness of a, like a water bottle, kind of. It was like plastic, a little softer, but it was plastic cone. And so she's like in the bathroom, and I just kept hearing like, doof, 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 doof. And I'm like, it sounds like I'm looping. And then she's just walking around like a drunk person, running into the walls, and it kept like, I felt like it was hurting her, kind of. Yeah, it just kept like going into her neck or whatever.
Right, because like, all right, you say that it's softer than a water bottle, but like to the touch, but like thickness wise, it was thick.
Yeah, because you don't want to be able to bend it so she can get to her stuff.
Like it didn't bend at all, so if she hit the wall, there'd be no give. It would just jolt into her, and she was putting it against the wall to try to get off.
Yeah, and it was tied with like a little like surgical cotton, so it was free from the vet. But Pat, the best chos pop in the world, that's Cat Dad, went to Petco, and he got her like this sporty. Who said it was the sporty one? Oh my god! Online,
I forget who
someone online. It's so cute. They're like, I like the sporty look on her because it's like I don't know. It's like a cloth material.
Yeah, it's like
an outdoor cloth.
It's like some Under Armour type thing.
Yeah. And it's thick enough to where it works, but she learned how to get it off, so we had to tighten it already.
Yeah, but what I like about this is that it's easy to take off and easy to put back on again because the first one was very difficult to do both. But this one, you can pretty much
slip it.
Yeah, you can like undo her collar, slip it back onto her head. What?
You should see the way he's like moving his hands that you can't see while he talks. He said, put his little 2 fingers together. He said, you undo her collar.
I did that?
He said, yeah. He said,
oh, shit.
But I feel like yesterday she was a bit groggier, and today she's basically back to regular because she doesn't like realize that she's still recuperating. So she's so hyper.
Yeah, she doesn't know shit.
Yeah, and like, so we try like, because since it's in the bathroom, when each of us shower, it's like babysitting time. We'll put the other cats outside and we'll just hang out with her in the bedroom. So at that time, I'll like take the cone off and like I'll actually like get really close to her, and basically she'll sit like in between my arms. And it sucks because I feel like cats, they spend so much time cleaning themselves, like licking her legs, right. Like licking the behind her ears and whatnot, and like where she goes to the bathroom and everything. And so she doesn't have a chance to do that with her cone, so it's probably depressing. Right. She did that for like 20 minutes, not even bothering with her scar or whatever while I was in the room with her.
And that's the reason that the cone has to be on, is because Chi-Chi, as soon as the cone is off, if she isn't occupied with something else, like cleaning her other parts or drinking water or eating, she will go right for the scar. She'll just lick it and like try to stick her tongue into it. And that is, not okay for the scar. Cats have very rough tongues.
Yeah.
So if she were able to get to her scar for an extended period of time, she could open up the glue or delay healing, and
It's
that's
a gnarly
not okay.
sound for a few seconds. Like
Yeah.
sometimes when she gets to her belly, it's all like, it's like sandpaper.
Yeah,
I'm like,
she's got
dude.
like 2 strokes in and been stopped right away.
Yeah.
But so while this is all happening, Amy comes home and alerts me that something is going on with her car.
Oh yeah. So on the way home from work, I was like, oh shoot, I know we just got the Mercedes maintained, I'm thinking, but I'm driving home from Starbucks in my Subaru or whatever, and my check engine light comes on.
All right, and this is a week after we have Amy's tire
I just
changed.
got, we
Two
just got
tires
two
changed.
tires.
Yes. So already we've had 2 car problems this year already.
So I'm like, fuck this car, I'll just drive the Mercedes for now.
Exactly. I even said, yeah, fuck the Subaru 100%.
100%.
I will stay home with Chi-Chi. If you need to go out,
At
take
least
the
till
car.
my next paycheck.
Yes. Or no. I was thinking for as long as we need.
Yeah,
I was thinking for as long as we need.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, until I have a convention that only I'm going to, and you have to stay here, and you need a car,
Mm-hmm.
fuck the Subaru.
Seriously.
So Amy takes my Mercedes
So
out.
I'm like, all right, cool. You just got the Mercedes maintained. Fuck the Subaru. Great. That's awesome. I'm just going to take the Mercedes to go watch our friend's cats real quick because she is in Dubai with her daughter, which is
Yes.
dope. Go hang out with the cats. Go drive through McDonald's. Get us some dinner real quick. No big deal. Our life is great. So here I go. Do the cats. No problem. Go to McDonald's. No problem. Order my food. Pay at the first window. Get to the second window. Get my food in the car, and my car is like not even in park. I just have the brakes pushed, and it's just like off.
Oh,
Completely
God.
off. Lights are off. Engine's dead. And I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? So I like take the keys out, try to start it over and over again, and finally I look at the girl at the window, like totally defeated. I'm just like, and there's a bunch of people behind me in line because it's like 7 o'clock at night. It's totally dinner time. And I'm like, my car won't start. And I just like want to tell her the whole story about all the other cars, about the Facebook status I posted literally 2 hours ago about how I have so much car trouble. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
And then here I am in the fucking drive-thru holding everybody up because I can't move. And so then she's like all nice. She's like, it's okay. Like, we understand. They're over here bringing everyone's orders to them around the building outside so they can pull around me to leave.
Oh, yeah.
And then Pat comes and he has to jump his Mercedes with my Subaru, which has the check engine light. That's like sketchy. That's like transferring like an STD or something. Is
Holy
it not?
shit. So, all right, listen to this. I pull up next to Amy in the drive-thru, and I'm thinking that Amy could get the car into neutral.
Right.
And so we could push it out the way of the drive-thru. And Amy's like, it won't even go into neutral. I can't do anything. So I have to...
Oh, and remember, I was like this. I was like 2 inches away from the wall. So like
Oh, yes.
at the driver's side, we couldn't get in and out.
I'll get
'cause
to
we
that
were
shit.
so
I'll get to
close.
that shit, right? So I have to do a fucking 3-point turn in the McDonald's drive-thru. So I'm facing Amy and all the fucking cars behind her. And they're now going around, and it's kind of slowing down there, which is great. It's fucking pouring outside. It's fucking raining. And Amy's car is so close to the McDonald's. Amy can't squeeze out, which means that fucking I can't squeeze out.
It was so close.
Right. So I go to the other side and I move all the food to the empty passenger seat because I'm like, I'm going to try to lean in because I already gave up on trying to get in there. So I was going to lean in and look for the lever to open up the front hood. So I did that, couldn't find anything. And then I forgot to put the drink back in the console, which I had moved into the seat so I could at least lean over, right?
Just standing up in the seat, just up against, so it was secured, but
Right.
it was standing up straight against the seat.
But I hadn't communicated to Amy that I had done that. So, So then I go around to try to get a better look at the front to like squeeze my head in, and we're against the McDonald's pretty much. And I see Amy sitting in the passenger seat.
And I couldn't even feel that I sat on an entire Pepsi because
Yeah.
I had like 3 coats on.
Well, first of all, McDonald's serves Diet Coke. Okay?
Oh, my bad.
I'm just kidding.
Why did I think it was Pepsi?
I worked at McDonald's for fucking 4 years.
I remember that.
I'll have you know. And yeah, and Diet Pepsi is better than Diet Coke. Personally, I think.
And Diet Dr. Pepper's the best.
Diet Dr. Pepper is the best diet drink of all time. But tangent. I just wanted to talk about my love.
This whole podcast is a tangent.
Exactly. Of diet drinks. So, no, well, not love, but necessary evil, right?
Ranking them.
So, Amy, I see her sitting in the drink. I was like, did you move the Diet Coke? And she goes, what? And then she gets up and then she gets fucking everywhere.
Everywhere. It's still there at Meineke.
Oh, definitely. So,
Didn't even clean it.
So I was like, just go in your car now because I can't do anything in here with you because I had to then pretty much lie upside down in the car from the passenger seat, leaning over to the driver's to get the lever to open the hood because I thought it was a button, but it's this weird red lever way under. So I had to reach like a fucking plumber, right? And then reach into the car and just fucking yank it. And the hood popped up and then...
Just talking about this is making me so upset.
Then this homeless dude comes up to me.
He was homeless?
Yeah.
I thought he was just like a good Samaritan because I was just sitting in the car.
No, you didn't see what happened then. He was homeless, and then I was first starting to open the hood, and then he gets next to me, and I thought he was like a different driver going to help me out.
Right.
And he struggles to open your hood for a long time. I know how to open your hood.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, all right, if he's going to help me, let him help me,
Mm-hmm.
So he opened it, and then he was like, man, I don't have a home. Can you spare money for a meal? And I'm thinking like, fuck, all right. So I need some karma. Gave this motherfucker $10.
You did?
Yeah. He's in the rain helping me with the hood. I didn't need the help, but it already happened. I'm trying to build up some good energy here. Gave him $10. He can get the whatever number he wants. He can get a double quarter pounder with cheese, with or without pickles. He can get a large.
That was nice of
He
you.
can get a Diet Coke in that bitch.
Sit on it.
Sit on that shit. Buy another one probably too. All right, but so I jumped the car successfully. When my car, the Benz, the Mercedes-Benz.
The Benz.
The Benz starts, I feel so good. And let me just say, I'm not balling on a budget here. That Benz is ancient. It's from my dad.
It's a hand-me-down.
It is an ancient hand-me-down, okay? There's a reason why that shit wouldn't start. But
Yeah.
finally...
Clearly it has a little bit of issue.
We jumped it. We drove as a couple in 2 different cars to the repair shop, dropped it off there, and went home fucking dejected. I've never felt so
We
defeated.
literally were just like, we had some plans to watch the latest episode of Here and Now, which we're going to talk about
Yes.
the first episode of, and everything, and just a couple things that we're going to do around the house. We just got home and we're just like, yeah, we're just going to go to bed.
And that's why the podcast is so late tonight.
Because we're just like, fuck today.
Today's
And
done.
actually, you know what happened was we did that. We went to bed. And it just so happened that today was a beautiful sunny day. That was in the 70s.
It was 30 degrees warmer here than in fucking San Diego.
It was beautiful.
Imagine that.
Long Island day today.
And today was uneventful pretty much. But Amy did...
Which is fucking chill.
Yeah, we needed that. Amy wanted to spotlight, though, an item that she ate today. Because we decided...
Oh, yeah. Because I never get interesting things.
No. We... well, sure you do.
Well, every time we go to
This is a new thing. Because, all right, I think what you get is good and interesting, but Amy doesn't often try new food items.
Yeah.
But today, we went to the repair shop, told them the situation, and dropped the key off.
Told our best friend at the repair shop the situation.
Oh, he knows us.
The werewolf.
We call him the wolf, yeah, because he looks like a wolf, pretty much.
Like a nice werewolf.
Yeah, like a nice, like the happy werewolf.
A humble werewolf.
So, on the way home,
Oh, hi, Neil.
hi Neil. He's trying to get on Amy's lap.
He's real romantic today.
So we get to Burger King.
Mm-hmm.
Take it away.
Usually when we go through like a drive-through, like Wendy's, Burger King, or McDonald's, I always get the same thing. Which at Burger King, I always get a Whopper with just tomato and cheese because I feel like the fresh tomato is juicy enough for me to omit the sauce.
Yes.
Which is good, but I was feeling like I hadn't eaten much today and I wanted to try something new. So I just scanned the menu real quick and I ordered the Bacon King. And the whole way home, I was calling it the Bing. Because I love to put words together, as you know.
And what's on the sandwich?
It is 2 patties
Right.
on a sesame bun.
2 quarter-pound patties.
Yeah, huge.
It's the same patty as the Whopper.
It's gigantic. When I took it out the bag, I was like, this thing's 5 pounds. And then it has, I think, 2 slices of American cheese.
Yes.
And it has a mountain. Not like one... You know how, like, usually when you get, like, a bacon sandwich or a bacon McDouble or burger, has, like, the one layer of, like, the 2 or 3 strips?
Right.
This had, like, 6 or 7 strips of bacon piled on top of each other, on top of the cheese.
Yeah.
And then it had mayonnaise, which I should have ordered without, but I didn't know it came with it, but I'll have it. And ketchup.
Right.
And it was on the sesame bun. But... the thing I usually like about the Burger King burgers is that they're like, they taste nice and like fresh and like almost like a backyard, just like a regular barbecue burger with that like very light seasoning. And then with the fresh tomato, it tastes like fresher. But this one, especially since we made a stop in between Burger King and home, it had melded together into one like brick of grease and burger and cheese.
Yes.
So it was even heavier than probably when it first like came out.
Yeah.
So it was very dense and like salty.
I think half of our audience is grossed out and half is fucking
I'm
salivating.
just letting you know what happened to me today. It was very salty, but you know what? It was pretty good. I mean, I probably won't crave it again for the next few months, but I'm glad I had it.
Out of 10.
4 or 5.
You would get a 4 or 5 again?
Out of 10?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I love bacon, but like,
Right.
I would just have to be super hungry.
You can get like a
super
double
hungry.
cheeseburger with bacon on it.
And I saw that they had a Bing Junior.
Yeah.
But I saw that after I ordered. So it's good.
I think it has to be the, it must be Burger King's version of Wendy's Baconator, right?
Probably, yeah.
Because Wendy's has fucking like a pound of bacon on that shit.
Neil's molesting my shoes right now.
He loves shoes. And also, something else that you brought up, you had a camping story or something?
No, but remember when we were talking about camping?
Right, yeah.
I was
In
scrolling
last
through
podcast,
Facebook on the other day, and I was just like scrolling through my feed, and I saw this random ad on Facebook, and I never really look at the ads, but I saw this one because it just said the word camping really big, and I was just like, oh shit, they're watching us.
They're watching
But
us.
the ad was, depression is due to not enough camping, or something like that. And I was like, that's right, that's the most romantic thing that's ever happened to me.
Called me out.
That's it. That was why we wrote camping on the list of things to talk about today.
I think that's worth talking about because it ties into both the ongoing camping joke we had, right? And it ties into the fact that someone's watching us. To kind of spitball off of last week, when I spoke about the medication situation, there was a moment of grace last night.
Oh, yeah.
So normally...
That was in between the car bullshit
Yes.
and the chichi, though.
It was. I have
Stop.
I have 3 medications that I have monthly, right? The most expensive one is a daily inhaler that costs, depending on what's going on, I'm not sure why, but between $225 and $230, okay? Every month, just to breathe. So, went to CVS after all this car shit. Well, before that final car shit at McDonald's nightmare. And I got my medication, got the price, and they said $35.
Boom.
Don't know why. Don't know how.
Not going to complain.
Never going to complain. All I can do is thank whatever God, again, that
And it's
you
actually the
listeners pray to.
Medication?
It's the right medication.
Fucking A.
Not only was it the first time they got everything
Double
right,
whammy.
it was also a minor fraction of what I normally pay. And if it's that way every month for the rest of the year, I will not only have saved thousands of dollars, I will have saved years of my life from that stress. Okay? So, shout out to CVS. I know you're fucking bugging our phones and listening to us and shit because of that weird text I got.
So weird how they text you.
If you're going to charge me $35, you can listen in. tape us having sex, listen to my conversations, anything. Amy agrees.
Sure.
All right. And last bit, because I do want to get going to watch the second episode of Here and Now on HBO. We are not sponsored by them, but I genuinely want listeners to watch this show.
Also, we only have a couple networks on our TV because we don't have cable.
I mean, we only have literally 2. We have
A couple.
Oh, oh shit.
Netflix and HBO Go.
No. Okay, so watch. I've gotten so grammatically incorrect.
You're too colloquial.
That I heard a couple, and I'm thinking that you think that we have 4 or some shit.
No.
I'm like, oh, you literally mean a couple.
I was trying to sound cool, but then you just called me out, so.
No. You're right to in turn call me out because we literally have a couple.
Écouplage.
As in, we are a couple and we have one.
One for each of us.
One for each of us. I choose HBO Go.
Fuck you.
All right, so, I mean, Netflix is great, but HBO Go has Sopranos. It has 6 Feet Under.
And it has Here and Now.
It has Here and Now.
Here and Now.
So, the show just came out. It is created by Alan Ball, who was also the creator of, I'm going to go with our favorite show, right?
Yeah.
6 Feet Under. I see it as the best show ever made.
It's an excellent show.
So
good. I recommend it to so many people.
Oh, me too.
Do they watch it, though?
If they're smart.
Find out.
If there's some bitch-ass
it's
bitches,
6 seasons,
no.
so hopefully they're watching it. It's 5 seasons, so hopefully they're watching it.
Now, how would you describe Here and Now?
6, because 6 Feet Under. Here and Now is so good. Like, I will say that before we watched it, we were trying, and especially you were trying really hard not to have any expectations.
Right.
Because we love 6 Feet Under so much. But at the end of the episode of Here and Now, the pilot, I turned to you and I was like, that was fucking perfect.
Right.
And you said to me, I agree.
I do. And here's the thing. I wouldn't put it on the level of 6 Feet Under's pilot. I think it's just different.
It's different, but remember how I said it was the same in that certain way?
Oh, yeah.
Which is cool to me.
It has a similar structure. Talk about that.
I like it because it shows a lot about Alan Ball as a writer and like what his priorities are.
Yes.
Because they're similar to yours, which is great. Alan Ball is very character driven in the way that he writes, I feel like.
Yes.
And the best part about his shows are the stories following each individual character. So at the beginning of 6 Feet Under, it's one day. Each character, there's like a snippet of each character in the moment that they're in exactly now. And that moment sheds light on the kind of like character that they are. Enough so that you immediately care about them and you want to know more.
Right.
But it's like what's happening to them now. So there's also some pleasant surprises. There's things that are not brand new. There's things that are like already happening. Like someone's already at their work that they're already really successful at, or like something like, no spoilers, but like things like that. Careers, families, relationships.
Right.
Then in each episode, after both episodes have like a snippet of each of the main characters, there's like a reason that they come together at the end that they don't necessarily want to like do. It's not like something they're really excited about. It's like it's something they have to go to, like a get together sort of thing.
I mean, we can say it's a big party.
Yeah, it's a party. And yeah, so they all get together at the end of each episode, and then you see each character that you've seen throughout the episode interacting with one another in the way that you see that the season is gonna like be like, oh, these are the people that know each other and this is the core group, and you saw them all first separately.
And yeah, he introduces these character arcs, as Amy said, one by one, and it's not in any order. It's just you have a scene with some characters and others, and I was wondering if it was going to be too much because it's a big cast.
Yeah.
Right? But we see something from everyone, and never once was I lost.
It's very diverse.
It's so diverse in that, all right, the topic of the show, pretty much from what I understood before watching the show, was that it is about a progressive white family that adopts children from different ethnicities, right? But the way that 6 Feet Under is about life and death, I don't feel that this is about the adoption of these kids. And I don't feel like it's about at its core dealing with those cultural differences. I feel like it's about something that we don't really know yet.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more mysterious than 6 Feet Under.
Yeah, it's cool because there's a little bit of like a supernatural element to it as well.
Kind of,
I
yeah.
think.
You know,
I want to think.
it's hard to know because Alan Ball plays with magic realism in that in 6 Feet Under, there were scenes where the characters were talking to the bodies of dead people, but they were never actually doing it. What it was a projection of what they're thinking as a vision of a dead person, but in the actuality of the show, they weren't seeing that person, right?
I feel like he's truly a master of blending like supernatural and psychology.
Yes, absolutely, I agree. I think also he's a master of blending humor and drama.
Totally.
That episode was hilarious in multiple ways, and there were these moments of such truth. Like, what sticks out to me is the moment when one of the characters tries to get her husband to wear a gray blazer, and she's tried, I think this is her third time trying, and can you do the delivery of what he says to her?
Well, he says it twice, which is amazing.
Yes.
Because the first time he says, she brings it to him and he goes, I'm good. And then she goes, oh, but honey, if, like, something like, if you want to look nice or something.
Yes.
And then he just goes, with his, like, kind of baring his teeth, he goes, I'm good.
Oh, so good. So good.
And he just looks at her until she walks away. And it's funny because at that moment, she sort of ruined his whole night.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because the party, in
his.
true Alan Ball fashion, is his, but is very much not for him.
Yes.
Right? And yeah, I loved it. And I've been seeing negative reviews all around.
Really?
Yes, from press. Just
What are they saying?
Saying that it's unfocused. And I thought the exact opposite. And it makes me wonder how shows with such brilliance like 6 Feet Under, Buffy, The Sopranos would be received now. Because I think that now people are looking for hot takes, right?
I'm really sad about that because it makes me feel like like audience in general is becoming a little bit more lazy and wanting more answers instead of trying to do the work themselves.
And that makes me, it kind of harkens back to Stranger Things. When Stranger Things season 2 came out, people were upset about episode, I think it was 8, where 11 goes off to a different town and it has a different cast, and the reviewers seemed so impatient with that episode. And it's like, all right, so imagine that happened years ago when episodes released, like Here and Now is right now, weekly. They used to do that kind of stuff all the time. Like, there were shows where they would have a cliffhanger, and in the next episode, something else would happen.
Yeah,
that was,
keep you on your toes.
That was common. And now that we have to wait not 2 weeks, we have to wait literally the time of the episode, and that's it. Now we can't take that?
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. So I'm not really agreeing with those reviews at all. You know, I thought it was perfect.
Me too.
And I actually like the mystery of it too, because with 6 Feet Under, the end of that episode it had a different mission. They had very similar structures leading up to the end, but I'm not sure if you remember the end. But in the end of the episode, Nate, the lead character, is standing in the middle of the sidewalk, looking at all the people around him, and I don't know how Alan Ball pulls it off, but without words, just from Nate's expression and the way it was shot, we understand that he's looking at these people thinking, man, everyone around me is going to die. And because of that, so am I. And the final moment of that episode summed up the entire series.
Yeah.
This one, Here and Now, doesn't have that because it ends in a mystery. It sort of feels like the mystery elements remind me somewhat of The Leftovers, which we also watched very recently and loved.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, in a different way than 6 Feet Under, I've been excited to watch episode 2 because there are things that were left, like, mysterious at the end of episode 1.
Right.
And I don't expect them to be answered in episode 2. I'm just looking forward to, like, the unfolding of, like, the next level of it, you know?
Definitely.
So.
Yeah, and in fact, I don't see this as a show. I mean, much like the Leftovers. Lost, and to a lesser extent Leftovers, had some critique that reviewers and viewers in general wanted more answers than were given. like Lost and like The Leftovers, I don't see Here and Now as a show that is developing these big questions to be answered. I think it's developing big questions for us to ponder. And I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think that's it. I think that
Cool.
we have no questions this
What?
episode.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, do we have questions or no?
No, we don't, because we answered so many in the previous episodes.
Word.
We kind of blazed through those. And I haven't put out a solicit for new questions just because we've been so busy.
Okay.
But I'm going to cover... Oh, I shouldn't say that. There are questions, but they're specific to Shannon. We have 2 Shannon questions.
Oh, cool.
But next time we will have questions. We'll have questions both new and left over. But for now, Amy and I kind of want to go watch Here and Now.
I'm excited about it.
All right, so I'm going to start it now. Our theme music is written and performed by Amy Shand.
Woohoo.
This has been the Space Between podcast. You can follow us at Space Between Ent on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. If you want to have your questions answered, you can hit us up there or email us at spacebetweenent@gmail.com. But remember, Prison Witch, our next Kickstarter, drops 2 weeks from today. That is 2 weeks from today, March 6th, 10 a.m. EST. So again, thank you for listening, and bye, you guys.
Bye, guys.